So this video is aimed at searching for an analytical service provider. I've assumed that you've already logged into the system and come into your account area. So we're going to click on Search Services in the center of our screen in order to select the Analytical Service Provision tile. And we're going to click Continue then on the right-hand corner. We're going to assume for this project that we're looking for some method validation activities for a small molecule and some QC release testing to support our phase 3 drug product. So the questions that are asked at the start of the platform are all really aimed to help set the scene for a service provider to understand exactly what it is that an outsourcer is looking for, understand their project, and help them to understand whether this project is something that can fit their service provision and is of interest to the service provider. I'm going to assume that our drug product is a prescription product, and I'm going to keep it simple and assume that it's an oral product too. So let's assume that it's a tablet that we're going to be testing here. For our product type, I'm going to assume that it's a generic. And the development phase, as I said earlier, is that we're working at phase 3. So let's select phase 3 here. In terms of support, then let's assume that we're going to move this project forward within the month. And for analytical service provision, now and again, very quick turnaround is needed. So the idea here is to be able to screen between service providers that can provide very early rapid support if needed. From an API handling perspective, it's really important, obviously, that the service provider knows whether there's any challenges with the API or the drug product that's being handled. Let's assume for this that it's pretty straightforward and actually it's a relatively low potency compound. And in terms of facility licensure, then for this, let's assume that GMP certification is all we need here. In terms of quality standards, let's assume that we're working in the UK and that the pharmaceutical standards that we've selected there are sufficient for our needs. So very quickly, we've been able to set the background details for an understanding for the service provider for exactly what it is that we're searching for. And if we're happy with that, we can just click through to continue. And now we can jump into the technical details and really get down to the level of detail that potentially will help us to discriminate between service providers. So as I said, we're looking for drug product method development and validation activities and QC release. So let's select those details here. And the methods that we need to validate, let's assume that if this is a tablet, that we're going to need to do assay-related substances. This will already select underneath phase 3, so I don't need to select that any further. We'll need residual solvents, moisture content, and microbial quality. From a QC release testing perspective, then we're working with a non-sterile product, obviously. And in fact, let's just add some stability details in here as well. And let's assume that we're looking for support in order to perform stability testing. So now I've selected those details. I'm going to click Continue. And exactly what I'm looking for has appeared there. I'm happy with the selections that I've made. So I'm going to click on Continue then in the right-hand corner. I'm going to name the search YouTube 2 and then click Save. Now this has given me then a list of the companies that can help support and test the product that we're looking for. So you can see that the list here is significant, and the order is driven by the number of services that match our inquiry. So we can see here that these companies are all appearing highly on the number of matches that we've got. So you can compare and contrast all the companies at your leisure, work through all the details. I'm just going to go through one in this instance so that we can see that all the drug product method development activities that we'd listed are matched here, and the QC release testing details. We can see that the site profile, the elevator pitch is here, so we can understand exactly in this instance what Pharma do. We can review the questions that we've put into the platform that hopefully give you an indication of the way that the service provider builds relationships, work with and work for their client. And again, I think these are good measures of how you can differentiate between service providers in order to make your selection. I'm going to select these for our RFP, and I'm going to select these randomly as well. And this is purely for demo purposes. Obviously, I'd make sure I'd go through the level of detail that was necessary to ensure that I'm happy with the selections that I'm making. And once I've done that, I'm then going to click Create RFP on the right-hand side. I'm going to give the inquiry a title, and I'm going to drop in a personal introduction as well so that the service provider has an understanding of who I am and what I do. What we can see here then is all the detail that we added as part of the search process and the requirements that we have. I can add any additional comments here. So if I need to put in pack details, any more information that I've got on the product that I want to include. And I can also add now a CDA or an NDA in order to help the conversation move quicker once we engage with the service provider. We can see the 3 recipients that are going to receive my inquiry, and I'm going to click Send RFP in order then to send the inquiry directly through to them. So the RFP has now been sent. I'm going to click Continue to Home Screen, and I can see now that my inquiry has gone through in this RFP submission section. I'm going to click View More now, and this is now giving me the detail of what I've just sent through in my inquiry, all the elements that we selected here. And then on the left-hand side, I can now see the recipients that went to, whether they viewed the inquiry, whether they're interested, and also what their response time was. So all in one place, I'm able to manage the inquiry now that's been sent through. Outside of the platform now, an inquiry's just been sent to the 3 companies, and they've all received an email notification that this inquiry is waiting in their inbox. Once they've then reviewed the inquiry, the interest, if they're interested, they will select yes on their side of the platform, and then their exchange details will be provided here. So you'll be provided with email and telephone numbers. Your details will be exchanged too, so that you can both make contact and discuss the project rapidly and hopefully move forward as quickly as possible to start contractual negotiations. Essentially, all the details are managed in one space, hopefully making life easy for you as an outsourcer and reducing some of the frustration that's really apparent with the outsourcing process. If you'd like to search now, click in the link at the bottom of the video and let Pharma Services Hub reduce some of the frustration that you have with your outsourcing.